Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Marion County Espresso TV. I'm your host, Steve Woodhouse, and joining me today is Sheriff Jason Sandel.
Good morning.
Welcome
Good
back,
morning.
Jason.
Thank you. Good seeing you.
So, Jason, along with our producer, Monty Godike, they just came back from the inauguration. So, we're here to talk about that first of all. So, tell me about it. It's kind of a bummer you didn't get to actually be there in person, but tell me about it.
Well, yeah, we were there in person in D.C. We couldn't get into the event. Normally, they have it out on the, outdoors, and because of the cold weather and stuff, they canceled that, moved everything into the rotunda for taking the oath. But it was still a great time. Just anytime you can be a part of history in the making, it's exciting. And to be out there with, no matter what political party you're with, to see history like unfold in front of you. It was very, very exciting.
And Monty, I have talked about this already. Your tickets, had it been outdoors as planned, would have been right up front with all the celebrities and everybody.
Right. Yep. Senator Grassley was going to take good care of us and have us right up front where we could see everything. And unfortunately, when the tickets were picked up, they said they were just commemorative tickets and didn't have any value anymore, different things other than for a scrapbook. So we ended up going, we got close to Capitol One there, but there was about a mile-long line to stand out, and the temperature was in the 20s, and we're kind of like, okay, do we even get in? Because we were told that there was, close to 200,000 tickets that were given out across the country on different things. The stadium only holded just, I think, under 25,000. So we're like, we may not even get in. So we were fortunate enough, we actually got to hook up with Simon Conway and his wife April. They were having a watch party and ended up going to that.
And what was that like? Did you have a good time there?
Oh, you bet. It's people from across the country. Everybody's there. I actually, we're kind of, when we came in and we found a booth to sit down in, there was a booth right behind us that I made conversation with them. And it was a lady from Florida and a gentleman actually from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And they were at previous, when President Trump got inaugurated 8 years ago, they were at that and just had such a great time. They wanted to come back, and it was really neat to see the excitement. I from two different states, two different people. When President Trump was taking the oath, she was visibly shaken, crying, and just excitement and the newness of that, and so it was cool.
And I imagine you probably saw and heard the inauguration better, watching it on TV than if you went and stood outside.
Yeah. I think in general, wherever we would have been surrounded by like-minded individuals on it. But indoors, where it was warm with appetizers, it was definitely a good deal.
And so you guys drove all the way out there and back. Had you made that kind of drive before?
Yeah, my family and I, obviously, back when the kids were a lot younger and stuff, and didn't have the financial means. Obviously, we've drove to Florida, drove to different areas, and it's always a unique experience when you're traveling with people you've never traveled before, because you have to kind of get used to, are these people that stop every 2 hours, or people that don't stop till the fuel tanks on the definitely down on E or whatever. And but it was good conversation, and it was. I've known Monty, considering him a friend, but never really had that time just to sit down for, it was about 16 hours out and 16 hours back. And so to be able to have that time and chat, and how it all kind of started is Monty, actually, there was two ladies from up in northwest Iowa that wanted to go, didn't really want to drive themselves, didn't really want to fly. Monty was kind enough to say, hey, if you can get to Pella, Iowa, we can help get you out there for the inauguration. So it was Monty and I and these two gals, and took off. And one of the ladies actually just moved here about 5-6 years ago from Kenya. So it was two Christian women that great conversations about politics, about religion, about personal lives, about being a sheriff, and really enjoyed it.
And so once you got back, I'm sure there's plenty of work waiting on you. So what kinds of things is the sheriff's office up to these days?
Obviously, I am truly blessed. Every time when you and I sit down and talk, I can't, I mean, not mention our staff. Whether it be the jailers, the dispatchers, the deputies, the civil office. It makes my job a lot easier when we have great people. And we're busy. It's a lot of times people, they don't think about, they may think about Knoxville PD, Pella PD, or different things, and what they do in those cities. We do those things in the cities, but we also do it in the rest of the county also. So 1 minute a deputy might be down in Melcher, Dallas, the next minute they may be in Pella. I mean, doing something or what. So it's really a large sandbox is what we call it, to take care of and play in. And I'm blessed and busy. I truly now I guess I'm going in my fourth term. Right now, I can honestly say that our office, the whole staff knows. I'm one of those firm believers that it's like you have to take care of business. When there's something that needs to be taken care of, you need to be tactically sound. You need to be able to be well trained. You need to be able to go and take care of. I mean, if it's a violent situation, to do that, but then be able to flip around the very next moment and pulling over somebody maybe that was speeding a little bit, but being kind, being understanding, helping with a broken down car or different things. I want our staff to treat others the way they would want to be treated, or the way they would want their family to be treated, and that's really kicked in. Our staff does a great job doing that.
And I don't mean to give myself a shameless plug with the paper, but last week I sat down with Reed Caius about everything that the jail does.
Yeah.
I mean, that just blew my mind. I didn't realize you guys were doing all that for the inmates.
Yeah, it's something that when I first became sheriff, about 13 years ago, it was kind of, in my mentality of being the sheriff, was just, throw everybody in jail, take care of business, do everything.
Yeah.
And I'm still probably a very strict sheriff. I'm probably still one of those that punish criminals. Take care of them, put them in prison, do the things. But what has opened up in my eyes over the last, 3 terms, now going in the 4th, is the fact that there's people that struggle also with, whether it be mental health issues, whether it be substance abuse issues. To me, there is a difference between a user and a dealer. And I want to prosecute those dealers to the full extent of the law, but there's also people that get caught up that are users that may not be dealing, that really need help. Sitting in my jail for 2 months is putting them farther behind financially. It's putting them farther behind on different things, and we really need to focus on getting them the treatment, the care to change their lives. And we've had people, I've been blessed to have people come up tell me that, hey, Sheriff, you treating me fairly and helping me get the help I needed has changed their lives, and now they're successful, productive people. And so that's kind of that change of mentality that when you're in a position for long enough, you kind of understand where you need to be strict and where you need to be compassionate.
And imagine that balance. You probably have a good grasp on that now. As you say, you're in your 4th term.
Yeah, most definitely. And I've obviously worked very closely with the mental health systems in the state of Iowa and the substance abuse side of it, and whether it be HHS, who's in charge of a lot of the funding areas of both the mental health and substance abuse. I've sat in a lot of those committee meetings and said, hey, we have to do something different here. Just throwing somebody in jail, and throwing away the key isn't good for anyone. It's not good for the taxpayers of Marion County. It's not good for the inmates that are here that have those issues. So I think I have a pretty good grasp on it nowadays.
And I know you've usually been active at the Capitol. Are you still advocating for those kind of changes and positive changes toward law enforcement?
Yeah. So 2 years ago, as president of the Iowa Sheriffs and Deputies Association, over all the sheriff's offices in the state, but I've kind of, last year as past president, I kind of started to step away a little bit, and obviously I'm I guess moving away from the association a little bit, because I've served my roles in that, but it's still important. It's still important to have a say, whether it be, if you call the director of HHS, You want them to pick up the phone
Right.
and to be able to answer and to help solve whatever problem it is, or the governor's office or the commissioner of public safety. So I have those relationships, but I also, I want to spend time back here with my staff and back in the county and take care of the things that need to be taken care of here. It was when this trip that we took, it was all on my own dime. The county didn't pay for anything, didn't do anything along those lines, and it was something that to be gone, even though it was on my own expenses. When you are gone, even for 2 or 3 days or 4 days, different things, things pile up.
Yes,
So it's like, we all need vacations or whatever, but I also want to try to be back around here more.
And so, is there anything else you'd like to address with us today? Things like concerns or happenings or more kudos you'd like to hand out that you'd like to share with the folks today?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is we're here to talk about the inauguration, and it's the office of sheriff. Obviously, I'm a Republican sheriff. Fiscally conservative. Republican beliefs on different things, but it's like what I hope that people realize throughout all of Marion County, the state of Iowa, the country, is whether it been 8 years ago when President Trump was seated and you had the 4 years, or President Biden was seated for the 4 years, or now back to President Trump. As the sheriff, when someone calls 911, we don't ask what political party you are. We don't ask, are you a Democrat, an independent, or Republican? I want to be the best sheriff I can be. I want my staff to be the best sheriff's office we can be for everybody in Marion County. So I hope people can come together. There's, I guarantee it, 4 years ago when a Democratic president took office, there was a lot of people that were very, very, very upset. Mm-hmm. And there's things that can, have impacts on people's lives because of those decisions and those directions. But here we are 4 years later. Now it's a Republican, taking office. We all just need to work together. I really hope that, people that are in politics look out for what's best for the citizens of this, whether it be the county, the state, or the country, and come together on common ground, because we're blessed. Like I said, I'm blessed to live in Marion County with the people that are here. We're blessed to live in the state of Iowa. And when I talk to sheriffs who are friends of mine from other parts of the country, it's not like it is here in Marion County, Iowa.
Yeah.
There's a lot of division. There's a lot of diversity that's causing people to move apart from each other. And here it's, whether we call it the Iowa nice, that's one of those things that living in Iowa, we have great people that are good people, and truly blessed to be here.
We sure are. Thanks for your time, Jason.
Thank you.
Glad you had a safe journey there and back to Washington, D.C.
Thanks for having me on, Steve.
Yep. Thank you all for joining us.